You know, it was like about that street life. You're conditioned to accept certain things and deal with certain things and be a certain way and all this shit. So, and to me, when you look at it now, you know what I mean? That was a negative mindset, right? The things that I went through and had to go through and overcome taught me and gave the recipe and the ingredients to the perfect soup, right? But the mindset was a negative mindset. So when I was coming home and I was like really, when I came home and I was really like pushing that envelope with positivity and pushing that envelope with encouragement and with digging deep and you can do this, I really was pushing that for my clients who really needed it, but I also was pushing it for myself because it's so easy to slip back in them old tendencies and them old habits, right? It's so slippery. It's so easy to go back into them old behaviors because that's comfortable. What's up, chat?
Another day. Another day at the factory. If I was any better, I'd be you.
If I was any better, I'd be Maurice.
Just living the dream. Wait a minute.
Just living the dream. Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
It is nice. It's nice.
It was nice this weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah. Really nice.
I don't know why I don't have that saved anywhere and just rock out to like the Champ Talk.
I totally expect to see you in your car just driving down 13 with it.
Facts, bro. Like on repeat. Like no other song plays. Just,
your soundtrack just following you.
Yeah. Well, that's like people all the time seeing me in my SBY gear, right? And something 50 Cent said a long time ago when he was just coming up selling G-Unit clothing. He was like, why the fuck am I going to wear somebody else's clothes when I'm wearing my own brand? You know what I mean? Like, they ain't paying me to put their shirt on. You know what I mean?
They asked me, do you own anything besides SBY, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, and band T-shirts? Like, nope.
Not at all.
I don't think I do.
Not at all. Welcome to Champ Talk with Brandon Hudson, guys. Back for another. I am your host, Brandon Hudson. And to my fronts now.
Chet again.
This episode of Champ Talk is brought to you by Pohanka of Salisbury. Thank you, Pohanka, for all of your support. You've been a rider for us for some time. We do appreciate everything that you guys have done and everything you guys do in the community. So, message
you?
Message me. No.
Remember?
Words are hard on Monday. Make sure you mentioned us. Mention is the word. Mention is the word. Did I get it out?
All right, just be careful with these buttons.
I know. I love them. Anyway, be sure to check out our social media spots too. We're on Champ Talk with Brandon Hudson on Instagram.
Champ Talk Podcast to find it. There's another. Yeah,
I didn't know.
Champ Talk Podcast on Instagram.
Yes.
On Facebook, it's just Champ Talk. Mm-hmm. You can search it and put a little effort into it.
We're on YouTube.
Find it, but it's there.
We're on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts. I didn't know we were on Apple Podcasts, Maurice. That was pretty cool. I knew we were on iTunes, but the video is on Apple Podcasts. Yeah. So make sure you watch this while you're driving your car so we can – no, that's bad advice. Watch this when you're in the passenger seat of your car. You know what I mean? Whenever you miss an episode or something. Also, you can message SBY MMA and Fitness, SBYMMA@gmail.com for the email.
Or you can hit Brandon on his hip at what's your pager number?
My pager.
Sorry, 90s flashback.
Hold on. 380.
Okay.
3800. Oh man, what a great episode last time was.
Yes.
So
knocking off the rust.
I felt the energy. It felt good to be back here. We talked about some really, really good stuff. We kind of left it at a cliff note. What did we talk about last week, Chet?
Talked about all kinds of things.
Must be nice.
It must be nice. Yeah. And it is nice. But one of the things we talked about last time was, and I remember, I guess maybe it was earlier in the episode, I don't know. We were all over the place. Mm-hmm. We're probably going to be all over the place again today. We'll try to reel it in a little bit. So you were talking about some comments that you heard that came back to you. Not upset about it. You understood it, but your response was, "Are we still talking about that?"
Oh yeah.
And if we are, you're kind of wasting your time, your money, your energy. It's a waste of time and your effort. So my question is, if that's not what we're talking about, where are we these days? If that's not where we are these days, what are we talking about?
Okay. All right. So basically, we're going to talk about this episode where I am in my personal journey. Where we'll piggyback off last week's. You know what I mean? As far as last week was good. I like the fact that we we kind of cracked the seal a little bit. You know what I mean? I feel like, I'm like this mystical being now in some people's eyes. Not saying that in like a cocky way or a conceited way, just like, people perception's reality. So what they see on what they see on the internet, what they see on social media, what they see, the glacier picture of the tip of the glacier being a success and the bottom under the water is all the stuff they don't see to get there.
Have you met anybody yet who was talking about you to you and they didn't realize that was you? That's coming. It will happen.
No.
It's funny.
I've overheard
it's
things.
funny when that happens.
Well, you made me think of my buddy Philip Whaley. He is my twin. All right. So wherever we go, people run into him and think he's me, and they run into me and think I'm him.
They know so much about you, and they're in a conversation.
Yes.
And there's
Yes.
and this guy, and you're standing there, and they don't realize that happened, and it's funny, and it will happen to you. So
I've not been there yet. I'm not that big, but I'm not this mystical being, or you know what I mean. I'm not like outside of the process or outside of doing anything. I'm nowhere near where I want to be in my definition of success. I know there's a fine line between wanting it all, wanting everything, and wanting it all, wanting everything, if that makes any sense. In my mind, wanting it all, wanting everything means you want too much. But on the other side, when you want it all, want everything, that means you're striving for excellence and there's no cap, no limits. So I don't know if that's I don't know really, you know what I mean, the fine line between that. But I do know this. I know I'm still in the trenches on everything. See that eye? You see that eye?
Yeah.
I'm still in the trenches, baby. You know what I mean? And it's no cool stories, guys. I don't have anything that's like,
one of your quotes from last time too.
Yeah, I just caught an elbow in grappling, but I'm still in the trenches, and it's not just the training trenches for, MMA or that to me, I saw a post that hit hard. I don't train to fight. You know what I mean? I train because it gives me. I think George St. Pierre said this. It gives me a base, a meaning, a purpose. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly training. That's not anything new, but it is a developmental thing. It is a process. There are different phases, levels, and stages in your training. But I'm in the trenches with everything, man. Like the podcast. You know what I mean? That's just one of my focuses now on trying to make this thing better and working to make this thing relatable to people and relatable to people that could use that. At the real estate agency with Brandon Brittingham and the Maryland Delaware group of Long and Foster, I've just made up my mind and come to the realization that it's time to hire a professional coach. I'm going to spend the money. It's scary as hell, but I'm gonna basically hire somebody and I have my eye on somebody, and we'll see if it works out. If it doesn't, it wasn't meant to be. But yeah.
So in addition to what you're doing, you're going to hire a professional coach
For me.
For you.
Just for me.
Just for you,
Yep.
so that with better coaches, you're a better coach, right?
Well, I need to be held accountable myself.
Right.
I need to be challenged myself. I need to push myself. And spending the kind of money like that requires for just someone to say, hey, I got your back, and this is what we're going to do, is a scary, scary thing. It's also uncomfortable, right? And
so you're probably going to do it scared.
Absolutely. Well, I made a mind, so I've already going to do it. I'm not scared of it anymore. But it's a very uncomfortable thing, right? But if I want to excel to the level that I need to excel, and if I want to grow people that I'm helping coach through and organizations that I'm helping, then I got to do what they're doing as well. And again, that's a part of the trenches. I'm very comfortable and I'm very okay with saying I need someone else to challenge me and push me. You know what I mean? I'm getting good, I'm getting better, but I'm only going to be so good leaving it up to me. You know what I mean? So yep, I've made the decision to do that. That's a complete personal coach. It's not.
That's stuff you've learned, though, I'm sure, from fighting, too. You knew, hey, if I had to get my ground, and you did, you needed to get your ground game better.
Yeah.
So you started looking for coaches.
Coach Miles,
to help with your ground game. So,
and it works. It works. When you get pushed, you get held to accountability. You have people coming in at you that that are outside of your element, and they are not your friend, and they are not your family member. You know what I mean? So they don't got no problem telling you to fuck off and coming at you aggressively or coming at you the way they need to. It forces you. It gives you two choices. You have the choice to do better, or you have the choice to, just continue doing the same. And clearly that's, not what I'm about. So I'm certainly in the trenches over there at the real estate agency, and I'm at the trenches at the gym too. You know what I mean? Projectedly, we've not hit the numbers needing to, turn the profit that we need to, right? Obviously there's been a lot of things, that have interfered with that. You know what I mean? You have COVID, you have, ups and downs of everything. So, and I've only been in business for 2 years.
Right. And even though it is a business, so of course that's going to be, it's important, no doubt. But you've had other developments too, and we talked about this last time, so we don't have to go into it. But producing some champs out of there too. Yeah. I mean, come on, the whole jiu-jitsu team that went and placed first, and we had, I think, another tournament since. We had some before. Everybody's placing, medaling, and doing well, and that's great. Those medals are great, but that's just an indicator of where things are going as far as the programs and the next level that people are hitting individually in their game. And Taylor, he had some fights, in Tennessee?
Yeah, so we had Taylor down in.
Aside from the money part and the success, you've got other successes, and things are things are going to another level.
Well, the money part isn't attributed to, when I talk about profit for myself, isn't attributed for me to be able to, walk away and spend money. The money part is attributed to the growth. You know what I mean?
Right.
I learned a long time ago that chasing money, there's never enough, right? And that was really one of my biggest hiccups, throughout the course of my life early on before the big change, as I just constantly was chasing money, and there was a constant magic number, you know what I'm saying, that I was always trying to hit, and I was always trying to get to. There was a constant, I was going to buy this, or if I did this, and once you get to it, just like anything else, you find out that there's levels to this shit, and then you want more, and then you want more, and it's never enough. Or then you take these losses, and perception is reality. So that was my reality then. So I learned, chasing money is never going to get me the growth anywhere that I want, and that chasing my dreams, the money's going to come. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the end of the day, we took Taylor down to actually Taylor took me down. Taylor was the one that made the decision, right? He was like, yo, I'm going to do this tournament on the last minute notice. It was a national recognized WAKA kickboxing tournament. There was always over 200 competitors there. It was down in Nashville, Tennessee. You had teams from like Hawaii coming in there. Joe Schilling was cornering one of his guys there. He's in, if you don't know that, he's a huge Muay Thai MMA or a huge Muay Thai kickboxing guy. And he also did some MMA and really, really animal on the feet. But we took him down. And we got Taylor took second out of his weight, out of his category, and I think he could have took first had he gotten loosened up and fought his fight more the first fight. But it was a learning curve. Me and Coach Demont went down there, and it was like a crazy learning experience for me. You know what I mean? Like I took so much away from it. And funny thing is, let me tell you a little story. So we go down there, right? And of course, we're fly by the seat of our pants, guys. We're working on getting better at that.
Yeah, I didn't even know you went down there. I knew Demont went with him, but I thought that it was just the two of them.
Yeah. I did that on my fiance's birthday, actually. So, but I mean, how could I not be down there? And she understood. How could I not be down there without him? So we go down there, right? And according to what we read or what we thought we read, it was single elimination. You lose, you're done, right? So we go down there and we train for, or we catch up, we do all this shit, whatever. He gets in his first match, he loses it by a split decision. Drop the guy in the first round. He just kind of, it's an Olympic type tryout type thing as well. Like you can get invited to the national team.
Some of us are watching at home, going, "There's no way he lost that. He won that for sure."
And the guy was more active, and Taylor started to really let it get away. And we lost. So of course that night, Taylor's been kind of in camp and hungry all year. I've been, we went to tie a couple off that night, and he's 21 now, so we had a couple drinks and celebrated and ate and all this stuff. And you have to weigh in every day, right? So that's about 1:30. We're stumbling across the hotel room, right, talking shit and everything. AM, yeah, AM. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all fighting." And we're like, "Nah, we lost today." He was like, "Nah, you got to fight for third place, second or third place, or third place." We're like, "What are you talking about?" "Yeah, it's single elimination." No. So I went upstairs and I laid in my bed nice and comfortably, and I said,
"Coach, you got to take a nap."
Yeah. Well, they called me when I was in my bed, and they were like, "Yo, we got to fight tomorrow." And I thought they were just fucking with me. Like, man, I'm tired. I'm not coming back out. Y'all bromance all y'all want. No. And they tell me the story. I said, "Let me talk to Taylor." I'm like, "What's up, buddy? How you doing?" He said, "Hey, coach." I said, "Where you weigh?" I'm about 4 pounds over. What time you got weigh in? 7 a.m. like that. Okay. Well, it's up to you, buddy. Whatever you want to do. I know it. Me personally, if I went down to Nashville to fight, you know, I'm fighting. I'll do whatever I want. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And he's like, I hear him telling me, I knew he was going to attack my ego. He's like, I'll be in there, coach. So the kid actually on 2 hours sleep, cuts weight, gets all the shit out of his system, you know, the alcohol, all the cheeseburgers and shit, goes out there and just mops this guy, man. Mops this guy.
It was a nice fight.
And it turned the whole vibe around. We learned so much from both of those experiences. And he brought home, you know, he brought home a nice piece of metal, man. So that was pretty cool, man. And that was a great learning experience. And then about a month ago we had the it was like our first tournament. It was a good fights tournament, submission only. So it was like our first time, and we've all competed, but it was like our first time going like as a team. You know what I mean? It was 7 of us.
Big team, and kind of swept it.
And we did. We won it all. And we won it by 1 match. So it wasn't like, you know, we were like every match counted. Everybody placed. But it wasn't the fact that we won for me. And it wasn't, you know, because it was like 3 or 4 white belts and all blue belts. It wasn't the fact that we won for me. What it was it showed the growth of the club.
Right.
You know what I mean? It showed the
and that's why I bring it up.
Oh, yeah.
There is growth going on. So for sure. And then,
well, one of our blue belts, let me interrupt you. One of our blue belts, Chris Garcia, he's a 3-stripe blue belt.
And he
snuck into the purple belt division.
Yeah, so he
and
fought
won that.
Yeah.
So he's an animal, man. He really is.
Now everybody wants to do that now. They're like, I'm not competing in white belt. I'm going right to blue and purple.
Dude,
so.
that's that blue belt mentality. It's like, yo, I got to reinvent jiu-jitsu. But when you
so
talk about success.
Success and a bunch of champions, though. I mean, really, everybody. And we talk about that all the time, you know, and again, there's levels to this stuff. But it's said all the time, and you said it last episode, is champions are made, they're not born.
Facts.
And we talk about that a lot, and talk about the process a lot. Mm-hmm. Regarding different things. Mm-hmm. It's, you know, about the process. It's about the process. So what has it been like? Now we just talked about Taylor. We talked about the jiu-jitsu team. What has the process been like for you to become a champion? I know we went back, we kind of picked a place in time, which was 2015, July 4th, 2015. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't even have to be then till now, but what has the process been for you becoming a champion or champ?
Yeah.
So,
well, first of all, I took my phone out because, first of all, if you want to be a champion, you better have everything in your calendar. I'm talking about your calendar better have every single hour noted and documented and repeated and stuff like that for your schedule. Because that is something I thought I could get away with is keeping it all up here, or you know, the repetitive nature where I know tomorrow at 12 I got this client.
I'm so glad I can put stuff on a phone now, because I used to.
Oh my gosh.
At the end of the day, I would have pockets full of notes.
How much did new iPhone cost? Are we at $1,200 or $1,400? How much?
I don't know.
$1,200, right? And I'm a hood rat, so I got an Android, right? And this costs around $1,000, right? We have a $1,000, $1,200 device that we will fucking trade in and go get the new one and do another $1,200, $1,000 device. Each time one drops, that only thing it changes was this one's squarer, this one's flatter, this one's bigger, better camera, right? That we utilize probably 10% of its potential.
Just like our brains.
Facts, right? So like, yo, why would you not be using that? But that's first thing. You know, what the process for me, man, was just consistency, man. Just, you know, so like the first year and a half, 2 years, you know what I mean? I was trying to figure out, you know, it all. And I was just flying by the seat of my pants and everything. And I was just like really, really aggressively, pushing positivity, pushing change, pushing like, you can do this, encouragement, because I wanted to really give that to other people, right? But really subconsciously, that was my alter ego wanting to come out, right? Because I came from a negative world and I lived in that. Not just like, I came from a negative world, like I was conditioned like every day to be like, about that street life, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I don't want to like glorify it, but I don't know how to really put it in terms where people can understand. But, it was like about that street life. You're conditioned to accept certain things and deal with certain things and be a certain way and all this shit. So, and to me, when you look at it now, you know what I mean? That was a negative mindset, right? The things that I went through and had to go through and overcome taught me and gave the recipe and the ingredients to the perfect soup, right? But the mindset was a negative mindset. So when I was coming home and I was like really, when I came home and I was really like pushing that envelope with positivity and pushing that envelope with encouragement and with digging deep and you can do this, I really was pushing that for my clients who really need it, but I also was pushing it for myself because it's so easy to slip back in them old tendencies and them old habits, right? It's so slippery. It's so easy to go back into them old behaviors because that's comfortable and because that's you're used to that and that's not new, right? So you can go through these changes all the time and you can push, you know, you can say, I'm done. You know what? Today I'm changing my life. From now on, I'm gonna be the smartest person walking. So my goal was to educate myself in every aspect, right? And that could be fun for, you know, a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months or 5 months or 6. And then it's gone, right? You know what I'm saying?
Like a New Year's resolution.
Like a New Year's resolution, right? We all been through it. So how do I keep myself always excited and always motivated and turning that switch on? It's actually your alter egos that we have and we all do, we use that we don't necessarily realize or want to admit, right? Like people with split personalities, multiple personalities are actually geniuses in my book, right? Because they can switch the gears for when they need it and switch the personalities. So what I found out is that all the positivity and all that shit that I was preaching for the first year and a half, 2 years, I was needing more than my clients were needing, right? As a reminder and as an encouragement to myself. Like you can't lead without leading by example, and you can't lead without being vulnerable and you know being open. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, at the end of the day, that was what I was going through then. And now if you look at like the you know, for the past year, if you look at like some of the teachings that I do and some of the encouragements that I do for still my core group and the people that are really there, we're not talking about that anymore, right? It's not that we left that, we just leveled up, right? So that was like my beginning. And, you know what I mean, while I was still trying to figure out how to budget and still trying to figure out, you know, where my place was and still trying to get my confidence up as far as a trainer and all that. And then I hit about year 2 and 3 and 4. And those years was like, all right, now we got to hit a little bit harder, right? And that's when I decided to fight again. I did that. You know, I never did all these things in my career for Brandon. It was always for the bigger picture, always for a business sense, or always for an encouragement sense, or always for a motivational sense. So yes, of course I'm a competitor and want to win, but at the same time, if I could get that belt, right, then that means I know MMA.
Right.
That's my certification, right? So that means the gym gets a little bit of credibility, right? Just a little bit. Even if it's an amateur belt, it doesn't matter. I won one. How many fucking amateur champions do you know, right? They're not everywhere. So that was important for that. Even when I fought for the second belt I fought for was for the fucking fence, for our business, right? I fought for that, right? So it was always a mission behind that, right? So years 2, 3, and 4 were really a grind, man. As far as like, all right, I got missions, but the process never changed, right? Even though the goals change, even though the targets change, I still had to show up to work every day. I had to be consistent. Just because I'm focusing on what I need to do as far as for belts or as far as for business, I still can't neglect my ladies that I'm training or my groups or my training or my classes that I'm teaching.
So when did you figure out that it was the process that you said you were addicted to and not the outcome? Was it the outcome you were looking for first, or was that something you realized over time?
Well, I'm a dreamer by nature. So of course, by nature, I see the big flashy lights, right? I see the dream, the big thing, right? And I think that's a good thing because then you're talking about hitting milestones and hitting hard. But I became addicted to the process right away. And that's just me. I don't think everybody is that way. I think some people get discouraged with the process. But the outcome was never the main. I really enjoy what I do. Like I enjoy the growth. I enjoy training people. I enjoy talking to people. Even on my hard days, like, yo, I've not went to work yet, right? And I work my ass off, right? And when I talk about my calendar, like, yo, I'm literally every single hour of my day, especially throughout the week, Monday through Saturday, absolutely matters. Like, dude, it is so crazy. I don't even have an hour sometimes to wipe my own ass. right?
Do you pay someone to do that?
No, I wipe it.
Oh, yeah,
I
okay,
wipe
you're
it,
still
but
doing-
I'm taken from something
I
when
was
I,
like, man,
do that.
that is pretty mystical. If you,
Well, yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, facts. Like every single one of my hours and my time is so precious and valuable to me, and my time is expensive. What I've learned is I've learned value in myself, right? So my time is expensive. It's not like it used to be, right? When you start really adding up time in and what you're getting back, right? So an entrepreneur is not looking at the dollar signs. An entrepreneur is looking at the growth and looking at time. That's the ultimate resource that we never get back. So I'm always
and when you're trading time for money, yeah,
yeah, or when you're wasting it.
exactly.
When you're wasting your time, you're blowing money. You're blowing money, right? So, you know, and again, I'm not acting like I'm like this very, very like, I don't have time for you, right? It's not that. It's just, isn't my time valuable too, right? So I was always addicted to the process, bro. Like the process just is addicting for me because I was constantly seeing the growth and I was constantly seeing new changes. We were hitting different plateaus or different breakthroughs and stuff like that. So I think,
Well, you saw, and you said this too, you saw bigger in 2015 and 2018 and 2019. Mm-hmm. You saw bigger then. Mm-hmm. And you see bigger now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I want to know what you see now, but I also want to know what you saw that is happening now. So what did you see 2015, 2018, 2019, whenever it was, that you kind of halfway smile and giggle going, shit, I knew it. I saw it, and it's happening.
A couple of things, right? That when I won the second championship, when I won the first championship, I knew that we couldn't continue at the old gym the way that we were doing it, right? I knew that we had to change up the dynamic and change up the way that we did it, and I knew I needed to be in control of that, right? So something I never thought was possible. I didn't think I was going to be able to own a gym. I limited my beliefs because I thought that the number that he wanted for it and all that was just entirely too big. But then once I noticed that I needed that for growth, that number became very small. So we tried to work that deal. I've talked about this before, how that went down. He ended up, bluffing and saying he didn't need me and let me go after we were supposed to work up. So that was a critical point, right? Because, I went up to Nick, the owner of Pure Fitness. He's my best friend. You know what I mean? I went up to him and I said, look, man, here's where we're at. What do we want to do? I got a lot of people. I got a program. But, dude, I ain't have shit. Like, I had 2 mats, rollout mats that were peeling, and two bags and a couple gloves and shit. So, Powerhouse at that time was the prestige gym, and then Pure Fitness is just a whole another 10 levels above it. So I knew that, like, I couldn't come half-ass, right? So I think it was like the day before the grand opening, February 1st or 2nd, right? We did the grand opening still at a temporary location downstairs where POA is now, that Pure owned. And overnight, me, Miles, a couple other people, we just put the gym together, right? Like overnight, and it completely transformed the place, like completely. And then I was like, oh shit.
It's real.
And then Tony came in, Nick's dad, who is the founder of all the Pure Fitness and Powerhouses around here, the franchise. Yeah. He came in and I could tell that he was impressed, because, it's like, it's Nick's friend. He's a little rough around the edges, we didn't want to do anything with combat sports. And when I didn't have anything to show him but a couple little ghetto things, right. You know what I mean? I hadn't set up yet because we were waiting for Miles to close. And so when we saw the vision then, I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Miles is a visionary when it comes to layouts and stuff like that. So that's when it hit. And then when the second title came around and we moved upstairs. And see, people don't understand this shit that I'm talking about. Like when I'm talking about we were downstairs, we were at Pure Fitness, a multi-million-dollar club with no air conditioning, with no heat.
I remember.
We had no walls. We had open sockets, or open electrical sockets. You know what I mean? Like they were in complete bare, let's put you here for now type shit. And y'all grind it out. And I'm still knocking numbers out the park, getting sign-ups and helping people and changing lives, right?
Right.
So like when we talk about the grind and the amount of dust and dirt that would accumulate in that bare drywalled place, right? It was a constant clean, mat shifting because we couldn't frame them in, all this other shit, right? So then
I remember moving all that stuff upstairs.
a week before my fight, I'm cutting weight. Got to move up there, right? A week before my fight. So upstairs,
Those lockers sucked.
upstairs was great, but however, there was a transitional period then. We didn't have the ring or the cage.
Yeah.
I had that cage in sections that we thought we were going to put upstairs. The motherfucker's too big for upstairs. So now we got to make these custom made feet that go into the ground of the concrete so that the fence would stay in. We're like, we're going to make the fence, the cage, a fence, a divider. But that was like a fucking 3-month process because, you know, the machine shop was dragging her feet because we weren't a big order. It's like a big machine shop, and we're like, yeah, I need like a $600.
So this is all the process. These are all the little things you talk about. It's things that you saw, but it was piece by piece
and
happening.
people all the time. What's crazy is like, yo, I got so much support and so much love, but yo, I got so much hate, bro. Like, yo, they've been hating on me.
Well, that's when you know you're doing something.
Man,
Whether you're doing something right or wrong, you're doing something.
They were hating on me before I was doing anything, bro. Like, it seems like, yo, I don't know why people are so intimidated or so scared of good energy, right? Like, yo, I'm not here to take your pie. This pie is so big, we can all eat multiple helpings. You know what I mean? And still, but yo,
we don't have to sit at the same table. But
and I would get so much hate all the time, bro. Like, I'm like, dude, what are you hating about?
I've never understood that about this area with so many things, but.
And I mean, I'll be honest with you, right? And this is not no tough guy, but I will punch you in your fucking mouth on the streets. Like, I'm not even trying to act like I'm all tough and I don't want to go there, but it's not like I'm over here like the mayor would have to be, where I like, you know, like, dude, first of all, I do combat sports, right? Combat sports. But dude, don't think that, you know, I mean, that old, you know, I mean, other guy ain't just lingering around dying to come out for a reason. So I'm like, dude, you know, you can hate on me on the internet, but when I see you face to face, you ain't got that type of energy. You know what I mean? So now I've got to really be mindful. Like, Brandon, don't waste your time. Brandon, leave your ego at the door. Brandon, shut the fuck up. Just smile and kill him. You're a professional, Brandon.
Because it forces people to take inventory and stock of themselves and look in the mirror and see what they're doing or not doing too. So I mean, I get it, but yeah, he's got time for it.
Absolutely. So, you know, while we're upstairs waiting for these pieces to get made, you know what I'm saying? We got caution tape dividing the us in the gym, right? We're looking crazy. We got a pile of rubbish. You remember a pile of rubbish in the middle of the extra boards and shit we needed to build the ring with that we had no place to stock. And I'm just like, just be patient, guys. Just be patient. I couldn't put up the second bag rig to hold the bags because the space was so limited, you know what I mean, that we had to get the fence out of the way to do that. So everything was, and then on top of that, we couldn't frame in the mats because you needed the fence to be able to frame so the mats would slide. It was.
I know the mats. I remember breaking a couple toes because the mats were sliding. There's a gap in it, and yeah, that was fun.
So I would get this,
but all this shit came together,
right? But I would get all this
kind of together.
It is. I would get all this hate because I wasn't in a position of readiness. You know what I mean? Because little did anybody know. Yo, I have been shooking and jiving from the beginning. Like, I have been moving, like, you know, doing this to buy this, you know, running up my credit card to do this and running up my other credit card to do that. Like, making sure that, yo, I can meet the Pure Fitness standards just by looks and just by, you know what I mean, showing up. I was very, very, very confident in our product. I knew that the coaches, the team, the work, I knew that product was good, right? I had no doubts in my abilities to deliver a good product. But yeah, dude, like, there was so many behind the closed doors things, and yo, I had to come up every day. I had to show up every day. So when I say the process, you know what I mean, and being addicted, I'm addicted to showing up every single day. Yo, I did not want to show up today. I didn't want to come to work. I didn't want to do this. I had a meeting. I got the rest of the day to still work. But yo, you don't have to want to get out of bed. People think like, again, this mystical thing, like, that people want to get up out of bed. Yo, I want to sleep. Like, I am the worst. I get up in the morning and I get fired up in the morning once I get moving, but I am the worst get out of bed person. Like, I just snooze a couple times, roll over a couple times, just think about my life and how I really don't want to do anything today. Yo, like, I don't want to get up out of bed and go grind and run right to work and start fucking getting beat up and start teaching and all this. But yo, I'm addicted to the process. So that doesn't seem such a big hurdle to get over when you're so addicted.
Right. So where do you see things going now? You saw bigger then, you see bigger now. Where are things headed?
So there's a lot of big things that I see. One, personally, I'm gonna tell you this now, and I'm gonna say this on the air because it's how far I believe in. You can remember this, and I've already said this 4 months ago. But personally, I'm going to buy, build, and develop my own little small subdivision. Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy, build, develop my own small subdivision. That's personal.
On the other end of the spectrum from the gym.
That's personally.
Yeah.
Right. And that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in no position to do that. But I'm so hungry and addicted to that outcome right now that we're gonna find a way. And what I want to do is I want to do about 20 homes in it, and I want to provide my family and the people I care dearly about an opportunity to either A, buy, rent, or my mom and dad can die in them homes. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, right? And I want to have our own little community center where we all have our Thanksgivings and all that shit right there. And that's my 5 to 10 year goal right now. Okay. I can't decide if it's gonna be 5 or 10, right? But that I'm so hungry about. So personally, that's where I'm at. That's one of the biggest things I have my sights on, and it'll be called the Hudson, and it'll be gated. So when y'all hear about this shit, remember on Champ Talk on April 12th, you know what I mean, 2021. That's what I said.
Just don't put it in a pond, because man, I love animals, but we've got enough Canada geese as it is. So
no ponds, no ponds. As far as the real estate thing. I envision myself coaching about 100 different agents with them and doing more public speaking. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, TED Talk type stuff. You know what I mean? Where I'm going to conferences, I'm going to places, and I'm getting paid to speak. That part of that is going to facilitate this other bigger goal that I want. Right.
Now this is all documented now.
Yeah.
I
got it written down. I got it written down. Yeah.
No, I mean we do too now.
Oh yeah. I don't care. I ain't scared to put my shit out there. And I'm not a bullshitter. You know what I mean? So let's look at the big picture. What if I don't do all this? Okay. What if I fall short of these crazy, amazing goals? How short am I really falling?
Well, whatever you get out of it in the process is not a fail.
No, but let's talk targets. So not the restaurant, not the grocery store. If I'm hitting these goals, right? If I got to go way up to the sun. Okay, if my goal is way to the sun and I fall short and land on the moon, I still left Earth.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you don't do it in 5, if you do it in 10, you still did it.
Or what if some other door opens up and some other opportunity pops off through this journey? Absolutely,
you never know.
So that's with the real estate thing. That's my focus on right now. With the gym, I plan on expanding. And I plan on growing the space. So. You know, once we get the numbers to support and once we have enough, once the place is filled all the time, you know what I mean? Like all the time. Classes are full, you know, we level up in a couple different ways internally. Then, you know, I know Pure Fitness is making some growth points and doing some things. There's phase 2 to come soon. And it's still, you know, I don't want to leave Pure Fitness. I enjoy the relationship with them, and I like the vibe. Plus, I think we're mutually benefiting each other, which is all great relationships. Right. But yeah, I plan on expanding. We'll have a SBY MMA in every Pure Fitness that's around. You know what I mean? So that's going to give us an ability to touch a different market and still give the same kind of service. But all that's just the outside. My why is still the same. I still just want to get people to the next level. I want people to hit their goals. I want people to hit their dreams. You know what I mean? I want people to just be able to, one of my main things about the gym, and I talk about this all the time, you know, whatever you get in this room that we train at, right? Whatever you get in here, positivity. I'm not talking about the combat shit. Any monkey can tell somebody jump up and down, lose weight, or learn how to kick, right? Nah, I'm talking about the internal shit. I'm talking about the personal development, the growth, the positive shit, the energy. And if you can take that, what we get amongst 200 students right now, right? And we can take that individually out here to our community, right? And we can give those little nuggets away through whatever means we can that we're learning in there. Dude, imagine what our community could be like, right? Imagine what our area could be like. You know, I've learned that what's been discovered is that a lot of my personal responsibility right now to the leveling up that I'm at right now, the bigger picture is I've got to give back to this community in a strong way, not just a helping way. I've got to be a foothold in this community.
Yeah, well, and it's been said, if you take the focus off of you and do these things, things will come back to you tenfold.
Absolutely.
It's just the way that happens.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And it's never been about Brandon. I mean, as much as I'd love for it to be, and my ego wants it to be, it's not about Brandon. I'm a vessel. You know what I mean? My higher power is using me and using my talents and using my platform to be able to help people. But I can't help people. I can't help people the same way now that I was helping them
Right.
4 years ago. We have to level up.
And part of this too is, again, that word process, the healing process, where this is something that you've experienced, something that you're doing, working on. It's things that you help other people with. So the
Oh, I'm still hurting. Yeah, when you talk about,
I don't know, it's an additional process. It's also part of the bigger process, though.
well, when you talk about healing process, I'm still hurting. I don't even know I'm hurting. I don't even know that there's pain there. Like, I'm so conditioned, and I've been so conditioned to take it on the chin and keep moving forward and be a man, and, you know, that I'm still finding out 2, 4, 6 years in the process how much pain's really there, and how much trauma is really there. Like, you know, I'm not even aware. There was never, you know, I wasn't touched as a little boy. I wasn't child abused. It wasn't no crazy. It's just the conditioning of that lifestyle that I've been into.
But everybody's shit is their own shit.
They do.
You know?
But sometimes we're blind to our pain, and we don't understand.
True.
And most of the time, that we're blind to our pain, and we don't understand what we're doing and why based upon that. We don't get it.
And that's why sometimes you need that outside person.
Absolutely.
That's not a friend to talk to, and they can say, yeah, you're pretty much used to handling all this stuff, but you're really not.
No.
And now it's injury upon injury upon injury, and here's where we are today.
Emotional injury upon injury upon injury. Absolutely.
Right. But as you're healing and you're going through this process, that's going to enable you to help other people even more than you've been able to help them now with the same kind of thing. So
we're running out of time. I want to pick up next episode on that. We've talked about the story. We talked about the process. We talked about all the shit that, you know, this, you know, I'm still the same dude, yo. Like, I'm not the guy that is living on my hill, or, you know, I don't care about no belts. I don't care about no championships. I don't care about all that shit.
Hudson.
I'm still the same guy, right? I'm still the guy that shows up. I'm still the guy that makes mistakes. I'm still the guy that loves and hurts and all that stuff, right? So we'll talk next episode about the healing process and your call to actions and what I went through and what I had to do to be able to get through that and understand that was still a process, because that's a big part of all this journey. You got the grind, you got the vision, you got the grind, and you got the healing, right? And all of it plays an incredible part into everything when you're trying to get better. We got some things coming up. What do we got?
What do we have coming up? The new segment. At some point, we're going to introduce the Your 2 Cents in 2 Minutes.
Yes.
And I think for the first one, it's only fitting that we have the first guest that was ever on Champ Talk.
Okay.
So
they can go back and find that out, right?
Yeah, we'll introduce that at some point.
And also, we got the Champ of the Week coming back, right?
Champ of the Week, yes.
Awesome.
So somebody, please send us a Champ of the Week. We have plenty of people that we think are champions, and definitely are, and we will talk about them. But we'd like to hear from you. We would like you to interact with us.
Yes, make sure you hit up our social media forums. You've got the Champ Talk podcast, right?
So Instagram is Champ Talk Podcast.
All right.
Facebook is
Champ Talk with Brandon Hudson, yeah.
Just Champ Talk.
Okay.
Yeah, but
keep it coming.
Search for it. Just put some effort into it.
YouTube page, you know what I mean? We want to thank the brand. We want to thank Maurice, our new guy 40, you know what I mean? We appreciate y'all's support and y'all's vision.
Email sbymma@gmail.com.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to Champ Talk with Brandon Hudson. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Hudson. My man over here.
Still Chet.
What are you doing today to become a champion?